keep going with that.
Brain candy, yeah.
Woo! Susie. There you go. I'll throw it in at the end.
Episode 438. Hello.
Woo! 438. And
How's
I'm feeling
Sarah
great.
doing? Are you feeling great today?
I really am. I'm super excited because I am leaving tomorrow to go camping.
I'm so happy for you.
I'm so excited.
Is this a sort of like sleep under the stars situation, or is it glamping?
No, it's no. We're like campers. So it's like tent camping. I mean, we are not animals. We have an air mattress.
We're not animals.
But, you know, if we wanted to do one of those backpacking trips where we would like go and like hike in and do one of those, like, we would absolutely do that for sure. Like, Ren and I were actually having this conversation. Like, he was like, you know, camping is camping. You just accept that, like, it's not going to be the best night's sleep of your life. What ifs? You just are going to be dirty. What ifs? You just, like, it's just like, that's part of it. You just, like, accept that that's part of camping. And it's just like, that's what makes it fun.
It is a special treat.
It's so fun. And I can't wait. And I feel like so super prepared because when I moved, I packed a box that was all, like, camping stuff ready to go. So when we were like, let's go camping, it was literally like, grab the box, throw it in the car, and we're like done. And all it was like, buy some food.
What are your camping essentials? Like, what's in that box?
Ooh, a propane grill and some propane and all of like the like fire starter stuff, all properly sealed. So don't worry, because I'm like crazy like that.
What would I worry about? I don't even know what I would worry about.
I don't know. I just like, I do.
I know
don't
so
know.
little that I don't even know the dangers.
I'm like, yeah, you know, you like propane needs to be stored properly, but like it's,
gotcha.
you know. So the lantern that you got me,
Love
I'm
it.
so excited, never used, can't even wait. So excited about that. Then like a bunch of stuff to make the picnic area more comfortable. Like I highly recommend, one of my best camping hacks. They sell on Amazon or maybe other camping places too. These, they're kind of like a fitted sheet, but for a picnic table.
Oh, yes.
And they're elastic, and you just like
those are Midwest
fit 'em right.
essentials.
Oh my gosh! And on the benches too, and no splinters because I hate that.
Benches, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it comes with the table cover and the benches. It's like designed for a picnic bench.
You're gonna have to link that in your Insta story because
I
is a
definitely
real crowd
will.
pleaser.
That is one of my favorite, and it's like in that cute like red and white checkered like nostalgia kind of like camping print.
So
love
cute.
it. So it's adorbs. Also, a lot of like tarps because I like to put those down in front of the tent and like anywhere where we could be like walking all the time because like, you know, you don't want dirt. I need there to be a nice clean path so no dirt gets tracked into the tent. I'm all about keeping a clean
campsite.
Yes, because you're going to be dirty, but like, you know, we don't need to be like
You're not
disgusting.
animals.
We're not animals, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't like dirt in my bed. Like, I don't want the dirt to end up in the bed. So, like, because, like, it's a sleeping bag, and then it's all, like, stuck in there, and it's a whole process.
And then, like, what are your food essentials?
Oh, for some reason, I feel like nothing counts. Like, when you're camping, it's like
totally.
all
Free
rules
for all.
are free for all. So, I even told Ren, I'm like, hey, Ren, go to the store and, like, get some good cereal. And he's like, what do you mean by good cereal? I mean, like, not good cereal by good cereal. Like, you know,
naughty
he's like,
stuff.
he's like naughty cereal. I'm like, yes. Like, get like Lucky Charms or, you know, so he set it on some Frosted Flakes,
want, like,
which are delicious with bananas. Yes. What would be your go-to?
Well, like, I'm wondering if there are meats, like wiener sandwiches.
Oh, there are hamburgers.
Oh, okay.
And I did, however, I think you'll be a big fan of this one because I was like, I love camp food because like I like to keep it real simple. I want to spend like little time cooking, but I want it to be delicious.
Yeah.
So there is one recipe I found online for a campfire queso dip. And I was like, I bet Susie would be all jalapeno queso dip.
I'm super jealous.
Yeah, and it's like 2 Italian sausages, and you just like cut them open, and like put the sausage on the campfire, like cast iron skillet.
Yep.
And then you could throw some onions in there if you want. And then, your Velveeta cheese, like you love.
Oh,
Some government cheese, and melt that down. And then throw a can of tomatoes in there. Mm-hmm. And then you just, like, cook that up and throw some jalapenos in it. And there you go. Bada
good.
bing, bada boom. And it's like 3 steps. And so I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah, I'm all about snacking, like Doritos and
yes, yeah. We got
chips.
we got the Cheez-Its and the goldfish. Mm-hmm. I do.
That sounds so
I think
nice. You're
now
gonna have
that
a
you
blast.
mentioned it, I do need some Doritos.
Yeah, you do. That's essential. And so
I'm
you'll
really
take
excited.
Bo, the dog.
Oh yes, Bo the dog is coming. And she has
then
a
do you guys
fancy,
have
like,
activities planned, or do you just chill out?
Well, Ren's the best because he's good at making like as he called them, a menu of things we can do. Okay. So like in different categories. So then we can like feel it out. So we did talk about this, like what do you want to do? What's your kind of vibe when you camp? Because we're like pretty relaxed campers, and when you're camping, you tend to go to bed when the sun sets and wake up when the sun rises. So you get up early anyway. And so nice early start on the day, maybe like pack a little lunch, go for a hike, then come back, have a relaxing afternoon, play some games, and then,
Seems like you would bring ukuleles.
100% already packed.
Wow.
Well,
yeah,
so is
you
everything
love a tune.
already packed.
You love it.
And also, Suze, I haven't played my ukulele in like a year.
I know.
What's the
you didn't have a
deal?
song in your heart?
I was just about to say that. Yes, that is true.
Well, it's probably true. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Well, and the other thing is, there was something I loved about playing the ukulele like outside on my porch.
Yeah.
And if I were to go outside where I live right now and start playing my ukulele, it would look like I was putting on an amateur concert to my...
I would pay to see that.
It's ridiculous because I'm on the 2nd floor. I'm so close to the, like
your neighbors would be like, shut up.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, don't do that.
And like the restaurant downstairs would be like, knock it off,
Can it? Do you think you're going to pack your features socks?
Oh, I already packed those too. Are you kidding me? I'm thrilled that I had the little teeny tiny tab on the top. Oh, that's not a tease. That's fun to say. That keeps them from falling down. And I was already thinking, I don't even have to wear high socks when I go hiking because I could just wear these because they'll stay up. Yes.
Feature socks are custom. They have a custom like fit to prevent those issues that you get with normal socks. So you don't have the bunching and the slipping and the friction and the blisters. Forget it on a hike.
Right.
And they have like targeted compression. So it like hugs the arch of your foot and keeps your sock in place. I think it's just great.
Yes, a hug for your feet. That's what I'm saying.
It's a hug for your feet. And it's perfect for like working out. If you're a runner, if you are a rock climber, anything like that. And they have a lifetime guarantee, and they're family owned, which I freaking love. See why Features has quickly become the #1 running sock in America. For listeners of the Brain Candy podcast, you receive $10 off your first pair of Features by going to features.com and using our code BRAINCANDY. That's $10 off your first pair when you go to FEETURES.com, like feet. Get it? And enter promo code BRAINCANDY at checkout. Again, that's features.com and use our code BRAINCANDY to get $10 off your first pair of Features.
Yes.
Sounds like you're going to have a great weekend. I'm very happy for you.
Yes, I know. I can't wait. And it's like the first kind of vacation. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, because summer's like almost over. Oh, well, maybe it's like halfway over. I'm like, I realized like halfway over, I haven't done anything summery. The most summery thing we did was go to your house for the 4th of July, which was super fun, and I think I even said that day, I was like, this is like the first day that feels like summer. It feels like a day of summer. Mm-hmm. It was so nice. But... yeah, so I noticed when we did that, we went over to your house because I've been stuck indoors, and I've really been like, it's important to me to stay inside, not only for my health, but, for the health of other people and all this. Like, it's obviously, it's really important. Silly that I even have to say this.
Yeah,
but,
right.
So I just from being indoors, everything has been the same.
Yeah.
You know, and I was thinking about, you know, what I saw something on, I think it was on Twitter, that was, remember when we talked about the oddball effect?
Yes.
It was the oddball effect, like explained in a little video. And I was like, oh, we totally talked about that. And I totally know what that is. But, you know, so in thinking about that, you know, and needing to interject a little bit of like novelty into, you know, life and even like going somewhere, I can't even tell you how different the last week has been when we just went to your house and then we made appointments, because that's what you have to do. Oh my God, I have so many complaints about my apartment complex. We have to make appointments at the pool. So we made 2 appointments this week for the pool and got to go. Oh my God, it's like a game changer.
Isn't that sad? But great.
But you did talk about how like the little things are what, you know, start to matter. Oh my God, it's weird. It like makes me even emotional thinking about it. That like
Sarah,
that is sad.
I think that what you're describing, so many people are experiencing now. I think a lot of people went into survival mode when this all began, and now it's not like a survival mode. It's more like, oh shit, this is just our life now. And then I'm noticing a lot of people being very emotional and feeling very sad and because of what you're describing. Yeah.
Oh, that is it. And it feels, you know, one of the hardest things is, you know, and I even think about this, you know, when I got divorced, like it wasn't, of course, like, you know, I was like, yeah, let's get divorced. But some of the most difficult part is breaking apart or like saying goodbye to the future that you've imagined and having to kind of like, well, let's delete all of that, because it almost seems like actual, like, now that I even talk about it out loud, this is like taking myself to therapy right now. Like, I think about all of the, you know, you have all of the photos and everything that you save on your phone, and you have to like manually delete them. And the process of like deleting stuff that you've saved, and especially like say you've saved it in multiple places, say it's important and you post it on multiple things, like, you know, I'm just using this as an example, like deleting online information. It takes a lot of energy to like just delete something. And you even know this from deleting your freaking Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, like all the photos from there. We have to actually do that in our minds in a weird way, is we have to go in and we have to like say like, okay, I need to erase that, or I have to replace
it's a
that.
death. It's grief.
It's grief. And we are like grieving not because like, oh, we're never going to have those things in the future, but it's certainly not going to be the same process to get there. Or it might not be, like, you might have to just re-envision or reimagine. I mean, I sure as heck know I have. I'm like, I ain't getting any younger over here. And like, you know, there's a lot of things I wanted to do.
I think it was on Twitter, but it was somebody trying to think of a word or phrase that would identify grieving something that had never happened yet, but you wanted to happen. And how, like, I think they called it anticipatory grief or something like that.
Yes. Oh my God. I read a whole bunch about this in the beginning when we first like went into like quarantine.
Right.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are having that because whatever you envisioned, it isn't going to be that. It might be great, but it's going to be different.
Yeah. So we have to just like, and then, you know, I think about, you know, one of my favorite equations is like the equation for suffering that says, like I have a list of, actually, I probably do have a list of favorite equations. I'm that nerdy. I was like, I don't have that. I was like, wait a second, you probably do.
My number one favorite equation.
Yeah, my number one favorite equation. You know, second only to the quadratic equation. And you know, everybody out there, like, there's people who are, you were absolutely freaking thinking that. So, yeah, and you're singing the song right now. So, there you go. Or, like, you're remembering it.
That's funny.
So, oh my God. Oh, yes, suffering is pain times resistance. So, resisting that, for sure. And we create ourselves. So, like, how long do I want to live in that, like, each of those kind of stages in a way of, like, grieving not and like resisting the like reality that things are just going to be different. And the more I resist it, the more I suffer. So as soon as I stopped resisting and started just being like, okay,
the sooner you can accept it, the better off you'll be. But it's easier said than done. And I know that that's what people mean when they use that cliche that annoys me. It is what it is. They're just trying to say, like, just accept what is actually in front of you because that's all there is. But boy, is that hard.
Yeah. You know. And so I found that the only thing that because it is, you kind of have to go back. You know what? It is like now that I'm like having a whole bunch of like aha moments as we're talking about this. It's so funny. You're so good at this, Suze. Every time I'm like, I wasn't planning on talking about any of this, but like when I think about like grief, well, now I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm not
Go
that
figure.
good at it.
Right? No. We were thinking about grief and. Oh, yes. Now I remember. Okay. So, like, you know, when we read that book, oh my God, I'm so bad at remembering things.
What's the essence?
About the mortician and the confessions of a funeral director.
Caleb Wilde.
Yes. Oh, and then she comes back with the name. Mm-hmm. Nice. Good job. Strong finish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Confessions of a Funeral Director. When we read that, and he talked about how when people experience grief, and you even talked about this too, that how the simple things become really important, how relationships become important, like things that like the connection, just that time spent with family, like before and after, like that becomes like the really important part, and there's almost like good that comes from it because it makes people connect in these ways and like lean on each other like that. And so I think about what's happening now, and then how that's like a processing of grief and like a byproduct of like a good one of grief, and how because what we're experiencing is grief, anticipatory grief, that's the same. So that makes sense that like the simple things like a freaking pina colada and, you know, a camping trip like are so like enjoyable because you have to, and you know, pina colada is a bad example, but like playing a game of cards, like, or a sparkler or a, you know.
Yeah.
Like
it's just true.
Whatevs.
It's what gives life meaning. That's why whenever we did our 420 episode and had marijuana and it was just silly, like that one brainiac said, this was just like a gimmick. There was no substance. There wasn't anything more. And I was like, yeah, that's correct. It really was that. And
somebody they negatively reviewed our.
Just one. She was just like, this had no substance. This was just a gimmick. And I'm like, correct.
It's smoking weed.
It really was about being playful and having fun, period. And sometimes that's okay. And it gives life meaning.
Yeah. Suze, I am so glad you said that because like play is so important. And we forget. I have like been seeing this all over the place and having conversations about this here and there and reading things that say like connecting to the things that that were important when we were children are like the important survival tools that like get us through and the things that like matter. And we just have to go back to all of that. And playing is absolutely one of them. Using your imagination, thinking good thoughts about yourself, having a good routine,
having a laugh. Everyone knows it's the best medicine besides medicine.
Oh my gosh, it is the best medicine, man.
Yeah,
a good
back
laugh,
off, brainiac.
And your kid laughing is like a double dose. That's like when you get the extra strength Tylenol.
Well, and if you are considering having a kid, then maybe you would want to try modern fertility to see what's going on in your body.
Ooh, I do.
Yeah, it's just such a great system because you guys know how expensive fertility medicine is and just the going into the doctor and all of that. And furthermore, who wants to even go into the doctor right now if you don't have to? And so Modern Fertility created a little kit, and you can do the test at home, mail in your stuff, and then they will give you personalized results to tell you about your fertility, how many eggs you have, what are your hormone levels, any reproductive red flags. They will go into depth into what every hormone means, which is very intimidating and confusing to a lot of people. You can do a one-on-one with a fertility nurse to review your results if you want. It's really great. And it's a fraction of what you would pay at the doctor. It's only $159 to get the same information that you'd pay for over $1,000 at the doctor. So right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy. That means your test will cost $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands it would cost at the doctor.
Yep.
Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy, modernfertility.com/braincandy. And I know a lot of people who are kind of postponing like family planning during this time. And so it might be empowering to just know what is going on in there.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. I'm going to do that because I actually found the box for it, and I was like, oh my God, how have I not done this yet? And I'm like, perfect that I haven't done this yet because now's the time.
It's super easy.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait to tell you all about it.
I'm sure yours will be like, you're fertile myrtle. What if that was like the medical terminology?
Fertile myrtle. Oh my gosh. Well, that's what they do have hilarious. This is like a totally off subject side note, but like they do have really funny names for things. Like, remember my hopeless tooth?
Hopeless tooth, right?
Tooth,
yes.
Right? That was like the medical name. And what's the other? There's like a global tongue. What's yours?
Oh,
geographic tongue.
tongue.
Hilarious. What? Then
sometimes there are funny names. I mean, a Charlie horse is funny.
Oh my gosh! But that's not the actual medical name for it, is it?
That's true. That's true.
Charlie horse.
No, that's
funny.
The slang.
Yeah. Oh, that was another one. Oh, the other one that is like I find so like I know what it means, but like when they call it a geriatric pregnancy, I'm like,
ugh, isn't it the worst? You only are 35 or older.
That's me. I'm going to be that geriatric pregnancy. And
they
like,
need to rename that.
They do rebranding. Who did that? Definitely men.
Right.
So like, oh my God. Oh, this is a perfect segue into a story that I have to talk to you about.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so have you seen this? There was an article that was like a couple weeks ago. It was floating around it was like trending on Twitter for a bit. That Jim Halpert from that's like not his name, but from The Office.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski. I'm the worst at knowing actor names. John Krasinski from The Office in season 3 wore a wig.
Yes, I saw that.
Did you click on that or read anything about that?
No.
Okay, so I clicked on the article, and then like there were some other articles that were floating around, other things about that were like a bunch of facts that you don't know from The Office. But that wasn't the one that interested me. The one that interested me was an article that was written by the hairdresser from that show, and she was on for like I don't know how many seasons, but. I'm skimming through it, and I'm looking at the part where they're talking. Like, I'm looking to read about Jim's wig, and like, okay, whatevs, he wore a wig, but because he had to like cut his hair for another movie, and then like they made a big. This whole article was like, it felt like we need to applaud men for doing things that are silly and ridiculous, and why does he need to applaud for that, like that, and then also, well. Let me just tell you.
Okay.
So as I'm reading, she's talking about Steve Carrell and how Steve Carrell, one of the hair decisions that they made as a team was, or that they wanted for the show, was changing Steve Carell's look from season 1 to season 2, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they said, she tried to say in season 1, they wanted more of this Gordon Gekko look, like slicked back hair, and like more of this like Wall Street guy. And then they wanted him to be a little softer and nicer later. And so they collaborated with for fucking real. They collaborated with Steve Colbert. Right. And they created a hairdo with more lift. And you know what they freaking left out in that whole story?
What?
He got hair plugs.
I don't think I knew that.
Yes. And this is, I had this conversation with Ren like a few weeks ago because I was talking about, I don't know what we were talking about, but I said, isn't it crazy that he got hair plugs. Like we were watching some actor and I'm like, isn't it crazy that you got hair plugs? And he was like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, let me show you this before and after picture. And he was like, oh my God. And then I'm
going to Google that.
Exposed. Oh my God. I will just Google men with hair transplants in Hollywood. There are so many. It's like, I can't believe I haven't talked about this on here because this is something that is
it's ringing a bell. I think you have, but I really did not remember Steve Carrell.
Like if you look at the difference, yeah, Steve.
This is hilarious. Oh my God.
Thank you.
They work great. They look fantastic.
They look fantastic. Of course they do. But this is the thing. If that were an article and it were written about like, like women get such a hard time anytime they augment any part of their body.
It's so true.
And like, could you imagine them doing like an art about like she got a breast lift and then like we changed like I don't know. I guess it's kind of different because of boobs.
Matthew
and we wouldn't
McConaughey.
Like that. It's everyone.
They've really done a lot of good things with the technology of hair plugs.
Matthew McConaughey, John Travolta, Mel Gibson, David Beckham, Elton John, Jeremy Piven, Gordon Ramsay, Ben Affleck, Kevin Costner, Bono, Lewis Walsh.
Tom Hanks,
Jamie Foxx, Billy Bob Thornton, Sean Penn, Caleb Best, Brendan Fraser, Sylvester Stallone. Come on. And everybody wants to be like, oh, women altering their bodies. Women, they don't like to age. These men have been doing the same thing, but just, on the DL. And we only notice when it's not good.
Well, and the thing is, like,
I'm all worked up.
I'm happy for them, but you're right. Like, why isn't it more discussed? Because they could have just said, and then, Steve had some work done, so he had a fuller mane. Because, and we could just move on.
And even so, and it was weird because, oh my gosh, in this moment when Ren was, so when we were looking at this and we were going over, like, talking about all the men who have had hair transplants and everything, he was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I was always jealous of some of these guys and their head of hair. And it's doing the same thing of creating, and I saw in that moment where, like, Ren in his mind had like wow, like this person looks like this, and people like you, like that was like the hair that people want, like the desire, like this person has ever, and then it's just like poop, little bubble popped, and you can just see like this like standard of beauty or whatever, and like women have it all the time, and I could just like see like the moment where like all of a sudden he's like, oh, that beauty standard that I like had in my head is like fake and unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yes, welcome to
right.
that
I don't know
experience.
why it's a big secret though.
I mean, there's got to be a lot of shame in it.
It's pretty great that they can do it so subtly and over time, I guess. Whereas, like, with breast implants, it's just like one day, there they are. It would be nice if you could grow those babies.
That's like, oh my God, that's actually really funny, first of all, because that's hilarious and somebody should invent that. I don't know how, and it sounds terribly dangerous. What if it like didn't stop growing? Ah!
It's alive!
It's alive! Oh my God, that's really funny.
Yeah,
so
like
not
with
that.
most of those guys, when you put before and after, you can really tell. But over time, I never noticed.
Well, so like, I was reading an article about it because then I was like, oh, let me look this up and see, because I wanted to see if there was a difference between how men were talked about when they got work done and how women were talked about, which of course there is.
Yeah.
And it's like we're scolding women for doing it.
Yes.
And it's more pointing out that men did it. And then they usually give a good reason for why. Where they
oh my
were like,
God, what could it be though?
Like, oh, he was doing this part and da-da-da. So he got, like the show became more popular and he got like implants and da-da-da-da-da. Like this, and I think he was doing, Steve Carrell did what's Bruce Almighty or whatever that one was? Not Bruce Almighty.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Evan Almighty.
Evan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think it was after that he was like,
wow.
But it was just like, Yeah, so I didn't like.
I was even
like
thinking about that, how if I went on that Mark's OG challenge, how that would be the first show that I did with boobs, and how if like certain people were there and you were maybe having a disagreement, that would come up, and it's so sad that that's like used as some sort of insult.
Is there like any situation where you would do that? Yes.
Do what?
The OG challenge.
I would.
Yeah.
You would, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I already announced that you were doing it.
Yeah. I mean, if it were 2 weeks, I would do that.
Yeah, totally. It would be a riot. And Timmy Beggy texted me and he was like, do you think Mark's going to make this happen? And we had a big conversation about it. And then I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, I think it would be hilarious and so many shenanigans if it was done properly.
And did I say to you in real life, or did I say on here that I think they should bring back all of the most hilarious old challenges?
I don't think you said it, but I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did, like the ice melting and the chicken suits.
They should do all the ones that were really funny and the ones that made us laugh. And then it should just be like that. And like, yeah, nobody's going to hook up and nobody's going to fight, but it's going to be so funny. And they're still going to be fighting about voting in. And there's probably still going to be like, you know,
hookups.
It'll just be fun. Yes.
Well, and
yeah, probably.
You made the best point when you were over when you said this was like so crystallized as far as like I knew it already, but you synthesized it when you said people used to watch the challenge and want to be there. They were jealous and would think, oh, that looks so fun. I want to do it. And now when they watch, it's like, ooh, what's wrong with these people? Who would want to do this?
Yes,
and
it's
that
crazy.
Is not the best kind of show, in my opinion.
And also in my opinion. So basically, both of very important opinions. The end.
It's unanimous. We also agree that it's essential that you have a Ring doorbell kit to monitor and be secure in your home.
Yes.
I mean, how many deliveries do you get a day? I get about 1 million.
Yes.
I mean,
and
they're
now
just
you need to
constant.
know because sometimes they just disappear out of nowhere.
Right. More deliveries mean more boxes. A lot of them are left unattended. And even though a lot of us are home all the time, a lot happens outside your front door. You can't always be there to check on everything in person. And Ring keeps your house safe and you can watch, see what's arriving, even if it's just to know what's come and what you're waiting on or who's at the door. It's so nice because your phone is notified and you can see and talk to the person. It's like a video doorbell. I just think it's great for security, and the smart lighting brightens up blind spots too. So, Sarah thinks I live in a murder house, so that will come in handy for me. Get a special offer on the Ring Welcome Kit when you go to ring.com/braincandy. The Welcome Kit includes the Ring Video Doorbell 3 and the Chime Pro. I love a professional chime. It's all you need to start building custom security for your home today. Just go to ring.com/braincandy. That's ring.com/braincandy.
Speaking of that murder house you live in,
yes.
Have you watched the I'll Be Gone in the Dark?
Not yet.
Oh,
did you watch it?
I watched the first, I'll say 1.5 episodes.
What do you think?
I'm hoping that it is more about the murders.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
I think it's about Michelle.
It is. Mm-hmm. Okay. You know what? Then I need to get that through my head because that will change. I was thinking that it was going to be the book in documentary
like a series.
form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Not the documentary about the making of the book. So now, and that kind of changes.
So what is the point? They're just trying to say hey, this woman was obsessed and look, she caught him, essentially.
Yeah, but I don't even know yet. I don't know what the
As
point
Wes
that
would
they're
say,
trying.
the thesis.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. The thesis is I'm not aware of yet. So no, I don't know what they're trying to say as of yet, but it is fun to see the images because she does it's very cool how they did it, and they have a lot of her voice narrating it.
That's amazing. How do they have that? Because
from
she's now
recordings,
deceased, so
yes, from recordings that she made before about the interviews and things. that she had
She was
saved.
kind of documenting stuff.
Yeah, and then there's a really cool scene, like whenever they're driving in the car, the camera is almost sitting. It's almost from her point of view.
Okay.
Like they shoot it so that you don't see the person in the passenger seat. You only see the person in the driver's seat, and it's a woman who helped her, who was part of this like online, on like internet detective kind of community, and they were hunting him down. And so you see her talking almost like she's like driving through like all the same places, and she's telling the story, and it feels like it's happening in real time because of how they edited it. So that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you think that she really was sort of the catalyst for him being caught, or do you think it was just sort of like the natural progression of the fact that they found the DNA through the genetic website and it was going to happen anyway?
Well, in the book, it seemed like the latter. It seemed like it was going to happen anyway. But in the first episode, and like starting this, it doesn't. It seems like maybe that she had played a larger role.
She certainly brought a lot of attention to it, to the crimes, and maybe that spurred the investigation to go further, which is great.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like this isn't a spoiler because we've already talked about this and he's already been cut. But like, I'm like, ooh, it was through, when it's through a DNA website and through that, online, she did say that's how they were going to catch him. But that's like a lot of people do that now. Yeah, that's like everybody. Like, I bet they catch a lot of people that way. It really just made me think a lot about what you say about how serial killers like are.
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
Oh my God. There's so much. Oh my! Now it's all coming back to me. One of the things that they did say, I did not mean to. This was not on my list of things to talk about. So I was just like, oh, speaking of. So one of the things that they talk about in there is that the 70s. This woman, one of the victims, is getting interviewed.
Okay.
And
she survived. Wow.
Yes, She is a survivor, and she was being interviewed. No, because he had 50 rapes.
Oh,
and
man.
only like 6. There was like only a certain number of murders.
Jeez. Okay.
He escalated from like peeping Tom to rapist to murderer. And at first he was, and oh my God, so much stuff. Actually, this is a really
Sarah
good
loves
documentary.
it. Yeah.
I love it. Because I did learn a lot about this. I take this all back. I do this. I've been doing this a lot lately. I'm very, very, very like open-minded these days,
you're pliable.
I suppose.
I love it.
I'm very pliable. God, I should definitely not look into any kind of cults or anything like that.
Right.
This is not a good time for me. So, okay, what was I saying? Oh, yes. They showed, like, the escalation of it. So first he would just, oh, my God, it was so sad. So many of the women were only, like, 15 years old. To call them women, they were children.
Oh, those are girls, yeah.
Yes, there was one, and there was one little girl, because she's a little girl. She's 15 years old. She stayed home from, like, a school dance. Her parents went out. I think they went on a date or they went out to dinner, something like that. And her sister went to the dance, and she stayed home because she wasn't feeling well. And he was like watching and took advantage of that time and broke in and raped her. And then this couple. So first it was just a woman individually, and then he escalated to the woman and a man, and then it was murder. And it shows like these really great aerial shots of where the houses were and how close. There were like 3 houses down, like raping another woman in that house. Oh my God. I had no idea how close and how, like.
He lived right by them.
No, the 2 of his victims, like they like shared a fence. Could you imagine? You get like that happens to your neighbor, and you hear about that, and then like the next week that happens to you?
No.
I mean, and it shows the town hall meetings, like video, like archival footage of the town hall meetings from then, because
he showed
the
up.
news. I don't know. I don't remember them showing that or talking about that.
There's some.
Oh my God! I bet they're going to say about that later.
But he would go to the meetings.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm sure. Because they have all that footage, and I think it was the mayor, or I don't know who it was at the time, but they were trying to make Sacramento look like this nice, safe place.
Yeah.
And so they didn't put this in the news for a really long time. And they didn't want to report about it or even make a big public statement. And it was happening to people who live next door to each other.
That is bonkers.
Right? And it's just crazy. And then people finally, they had these town hall meetings, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. And, of course they never got him. But it was just so crazy to see how close they were and how, how he escalated. And, oh, God, that it was 50.
What was that thing that you were going to say? The woman was on camera and she said something about it. His victim was interviewed.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. God, I'm all over the place. The woman who was... Oh, yes. This is my original statement. God, what... She was talking about, what things were like back in the 70s and how...
Okay.
It was... And she used, people were getting raped all the time. It was really rapey back then.
For real?
Yes. She said, people were getting... rape was no big deal. Women were raped all the time, and it was I was oh my God.
Come on, for real?
Yeah, that's how casually she talked about. I swear to God, it was in that tone.
And do you think she's talking date rape, or do you think she's talking about this kind? Or both? Just everyone's going to a raping.
There's a part of me that thinks that that's something that she has to do to normalize it, to then feel maybe, but I don't know. That was kind of what I was asking you. Do you know about the 70s being extra rapey? It's a weird question.
I can't say that I do.
Me neither.
No.
I can't either. But then I thought about it. That's all rooted in misogyny and.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense that it would be more than it is now.
But the way she talked about it, oh my God, I was this is so sad. And then they interviewed a couple where the woman was raped. Yes. And that was the sad part. The wife said there's what happens during the incident, and then there's the worst is what happens. It's after. What do you do after the accident, the incident, the attack?
Well, wouldn't he put plates and stuff on the husband? And if the plates moved, then
he would kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, could you even imagine?
Because Adam was just talking about that. He's can you imagine what that would be like? Yeah.
And when you are the male who has in his mind the idea that you want to protect your wife. I mean, who doesn't? That's the person that you love. And then you're put in this shameful position where there's nothing you could do, and any movement will be her death. And you want to, oh God, I couldn't imagine.
And remember how,
total terror.
Do they talk about this in the series about the micro penis thing?
No, not yet. They haven't gotten to that yet, but I think they they said that they had incredible details the size of his penis, but they weren't able to catch him. That kind of thing. In the list, when they only mentioned it when they were listing, look at all the things we know about him, but we can't catch him.
Because I was just reading this book. It's the biography of Alfred Hitchcock, which is weird because I've never actually seen an Alfred Hitchcock movie. But anyway, it was saying that he felt like he was so ugly and disgusting that he started to resent beautiful women, and it was a love-hate thing where they were his muse and he was obsessed with them,
the modern
incels.
Yes,
yeah.
Oh,
and
God.
that he would put them in positions in his movies that would humiliate them, and basically the words they used was rape them in the movie, to
oh God, we should put a trigger warning at the beginning of this.
I know, because it was saying for example,
just in the beginning of the episode, for sure.
Yeah, the movie Birds. Apparently at the end of the movie, there's that scene where she's attacked by all those birds.
Yeah.
He made her film that over and over again for 7 days.
No.
Even though they had already gotten the footage.
You know what?
It was
and it's always about woman. Yep, that makes total sense. Now, but how do you link that to the micropenis?
Well, because I would argue that the
low
shame,
self-worth and
and you feeling like you're ugly or undesirable, and you kind of hate the women who represent rejection. To you.
I think that is I really do. I think that is. It's so sad that is the result of that. And also, depression can often manifest as anger in men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I get it, but it's also, I would say the sort of dating rituals or mating rituals are the only area that women have sort of some semblance of hierarchical power, because we're the ones that say, theoretically yes or no. And so these incels that are mad about it, it's just unbelievable that the one area of life that women sort of have the upper hand, they're mad about it.
Oh, my God.
It's depressing.
Well, I'll give you a story about a guy who falls into one of these categories in the last few minutes we have here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so this is a story from 2019, but I don't know how I stumbled across it now. But because I swear to God, I did not set a Google alert for poo stories, but they do kind of like come my way. So this is a guy who, let me get the headline right. The headline reads, college student ate ex-girlfriend's fish, then sent a pic of his poop, said, found your fish.
No way.
Yes.
Tell me everything.
Okay, so this kid, his name's, what has a stupid name? Maxwell Taffin. It's a regular name. I don't know. He's just stupid because he's everything. If your name is Maxwell, don't get mad at me. Your name's great. This guy's just stupid. So he goes to Ole Miss, and he stayed. I guess what the report says is this guy Taffin stayed at his girlfriend's dorm room, or called his girlfriend, was like, hey, can we stay at your dorm after the game? She was gone, and then when she came back, she returned in the morning, and there was a note, and he said, check your fish tank, or he texted her or something, check your fish tank, and she noticed that the fish was missing, and then a little bit later she got an update on the whereabouts, and it was a picture, and it said found your fish, and it was the picture of the goldfish.
Why?
And so who knows? They don't explain why. It doesn't explain. Well, it doesn't explain. But the article I read did say, considering this happened after a football game at LSU of all places, there's nearly 100% chance that he was drunk, and there's an 80% chance that he was blacked out, and his blood was actually just a hurricane. But then there's the presumable length of time that passed for him to sober up and then shit the thing out and then take a picture of it. So it does not explain why he did all of that.
Well, and it feels vindictive, obviously, for him to be found your fish. Here's my BM.
Yeah, but guess what? You don't have to worry, because it absolutely is vindictive, and it was mean because he was tried, because she pressed charges for that, as she should.
Yep.
And
what is it, a hate crime?
He was 18 when he did this. Now he's 21, and he ended up being charged. Well, also when he was arrested, they found. He was just, I want to say they found pot on him, but then I'm well, now I feel who cares if they found pot on him? That's not,
yeah.
So he's a kid, all right. But, so, I guess they had reason enough to, arrest him and everything, but they ended up charging him with cruelty to animals, improper telephone communications.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I didn't know that was a crime.
So then he was found with 50 grams of marijuana in his car, failed to produce his driver's license, and failed to produce his insurance when details were requested. So
what an idiot.
Then he was arrested. Yeah, he's not a stand-up dude. And clearly he eats fish and then shits him out and then takes a picture of it.
Do you think he's a sociopath?
No, I think he's a drunk frat guy who's cheered on by his buddies, and they were it was him and maybe somebody else, and they were
yeah, but most people would have remorse.
No, I feel like there's more to this story. Like she was gone. She was out of town. Like maybe she was out of town, and like he found out that she was like cheating on him with somebody, and he did that. There's never a reason to eat her fish. That's still fucked up. But there's clearly like missing parts to this story that unfortunately it happened in 2019. Like the story then like resurfaced in 2019. So I don't know if we'll hear
what a goon.
Any sort of resolution.
But I love it just because now if you Google his name, that's what will come up, that record.
Yes. And his picture, I'm just going to text you a picture of what he looks like, because he looks like exactly, and this is his girlfriend too, which is why I can't believe she is on there. But
oh my God, is she super cute? This is like King of Queens syndrome.
Cute. Yeah, this guy definitely looks like he takes pictures of his shit.
Stop.
Right? Did you see it?
No, but that's a hilarious thing to say. Like, I love the idea that you could look like that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, total bro douchebag.
Yeah. He totally does that.
What a weirdo.
It's like, what? Yeah. What?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I totally ate her fish.
I ate her fish. What?
You know what I should do someday is look through, you know how you can look through like the information on your text exchanged with someone and see all like the media? I would love to see all the pictures we've sent to each other.
Oh my gosh. I do that every now and then for shits and giggles, just to look back at funny old things. Yes. Oh my God. That's hilarious. I just said that.
I mean, that is our spin-off podcast we're working on, Shits and Giggles.
Shits and Giggles. Oh my God, that's right. I forget. Oh, so good. Well, on that note...
Wow.
Leave us a 5-star review, man.
That's a note, all right.
If you left us 1 star for every shit story, I mean, that would be like 100 stars.
Right. We deserve that much.
At least.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.